haste, O Yahuwah, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Sunini Nanini. Let them be ashamed that confounded that seek after my soul. Let them be turned backwards and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that says, aha, and let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation continually, let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy, make haste unto me. O Yahuwah, thou art my help and my deliverer. O I am that I am, make no tarrying. Psalms chapter 7d. Psalms chapter 7d. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yeah, we thank God, we thank the Most High, we thank Yahweh, Yahuwah, Ya Allah, even Sunini Nanini Tata Nzambi. We thank God for all things. Yes, we thank him for his mercy, his favor. We thank him for how he has subdued our enemies, those seen and unseen. We thank God for how he has brought us to the point where we even can rise up in the morning and have a meal that we can prepare or go get. Yes, some of us can go to our local restaurant and sit down and eat a good meal. I ain't talking about no pork and no sausage in the pork area or chicken or nothing like that. No, I'm talking about a breakfast meal. Yes, pancakes, yeah, that's good. But we thank God for it. We thank God for his mercy, his wondrous mercy. How he fills our lives with happiness and hopefulness. Yes, even his words, his laws, his statutes, and commandments. All praises to his name. Yes, all praises to his name. Yes. And also we thank God for those of you who have been with us since the beginning. And those of you who have been with us there, here, and there's about. And we thank the Most High for those of you that have subscribed and those of you that are about to subscribe. And we thank God for those things that are not as though they are. All praises to his wonderful name. Yes. I've been wondering about this war and this war between these two great superpowers and how one is provoking the other when the other one already laid out its prerequisite of what would just cause it to just relent. But the other one keeps poking at it, all with their friends like little devils or something, poking at this one, poking the bear, what do you want to call it? But you have you thought about that Georgia Stone, how they want to reduce? They want to, but to me it's like, it's just my reasoning. Maybe it's just these powers that be want to reduce the population through, hopefully, non-nuclear means, but reduce it, even if it took nuclear means. And that's kind of sad that such a people would do such a thing. While they can go hide in their little holes in their underground bunkers, and the rest of us just fried to a crisp. We wouldn't know it, but that's about it. I mean, have you ever considered that this might be the way the demons have infiltrated their minds and entered their dreams and from youths and conveyed from their parents even to them as they grew up? That's all they could see is this fraternal agenda, and even a racial one. But the fact is God, when God is ready, God will do. It says when God's cup is full, when he's tired of your mess, man, woman, child, when he's tired of your mess, when his cup is full and running over, he will pour it out, even the wine of his wrath, even to the last little bit. It's called in the old English dregs. The last little bit, he's going to pour it out. And it's all found throughout the New Testament. New Testament, as you read it, they borrowed from the Old. But if you really want to do some reading and you want to get into the details, the Old Testament is the way to go. The other one is just borrowed stuff. And then you have the other books that have been cast out by those who don't want you to know the truth. Even the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilees, and most of all, the book of Enoch. You have these platforms that talk about and tell you truths with lies, and even some of them, they think they're telling the truth and they're deceived. Because God will not just leave you breadcrumbs. He's already paved the way. He's already showed you. The way, the truth, and the life is the law. Ain't no way no man gonna be the way, the truth, and the life. The law tells you the way to God. He said to understand and know God, you have to know the law, the commandments, statutes, and ordinances. I'm talking about this one true God. I ain't talking about those pagan gods that they say, well, I'm many, and then this was the time of, should I say, the monotheism. Throw that stuff away. That's a bunch of malarkey. Give me a cup of coffee or something. That's nothing. But either way, God says, look, I am He. Besides me, there is no other God. You're going to either take it or leave it. If you leave it, that's up to you. That's unto you. You're taking a chance. And if you take it, the life where you can live and you don't have to covet nothing of your neighbors. The life, the way to worship God, to seek Him in the beauty of holiness. That holiness is what? Not having any other gods before Him. Not having any other, should I say, deities that you would put before God, whether paintings, statues, or whatever, or just idols of singers and songs of men. Even your New Testament concoctions. Yes, it's laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. The way, the truth, and the life. Now, how can one man take that whole thousands of years where God had dealt with man on the way, the truth, and the life, which was His commandments, ordinances, and statutes? It wasn't just given to Israel. This is a lie they're telling you. It was given all the way back after Adam was here, created. God had even made a commandment. Thou shalt, if you shed man's blood, what's going to happen? He said, by man your blood is going to be shed. God give man that opportunity to avenge himself. The seeker of blood. Now He took all this stuff and He culminated it. And now you have the Egyptians. Oh, He took the negative. I don't care how much of the degrees you got. You're wrong. Ham knew the law. Mitzrayim knew the law. Shem knew the law, and Japheth knew it. There's no way. You was a lie in your breath stank. But regardless, we thank God for the law, the way, the truth, and the life. It only can be done by words. But they fix it up. But in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with. Get out of here with that lie. That is a lie. Printed in the book that it shouldn't even be with the truth. It's standing. It cannot stand without the truth. It cannot stand without being putting little bits and pieces of the truth in that lie. And then putting a man up who was born of adultery. Whether he was overshadowed with a spirit or whether he was, and then lies upon lies. Oh, thou son of David. When the narrative says that he was the Son of God. Which son is he? The Greek says son. The Hebrew says spirits of God. When the spirits of God came to present themselves before the Most High, there was no flesh there. They fixed you up, they built it up, they changed the words just ever so slightly to get you to believe in this New Testament and this false Messiah. I'm saying it point blank, I don't care. I really have nothing to lose. But the fact is, this false Messiah, I don't have nothing to lose. Even this life is nothing. It's nothing to lose. You're going to lose it anyway. At one point in time, it's a matter of when and how. Really. It's best to do that which pleases your God, that you claim as your God, than sit up here trying to please men and walk tiptoeing through the tulips that you don't offend anyone. People are gonna always be offended at something because they want you to agree with their mess. That's it. And the life that you live is a testimony against them. Even the commandments, statutes, ordinances, keeping that Shabbat, not even having any images of anything that resembles somebody being worshipped in your home, when you're dwelling, even if you dwell outside in a tent, not having these things and shunning those away from your company that condone these things. Yes, this is so true. Now, I can keep going, but the fact is that we're in the book of 1 Kings, still in the book of 1 Kings chapter 16. I still, from the beginning, when I was dealing with Revelation, I still have my little blackboard up there. I decided I'm going to paint this room, this back room, or this would be a guest room in an office. It's really junky because I'm still in limbo. I really don't have to do nothing. But the fact is to have a neat office, because I don't know if I ever would have a guest or something like that to come in this room and debate or whatever. Not debate, but just converse or question and ask things. I don't know. But I think I'm going to get on that. Yes. I believe I'll get on that. But either way, it'll be painted with blue, purple, and red. The same colors as the portable temple. Just the four walls and, so to speak, with gold trim. Yes, this is what I'm thinking. Yes, that's what I would do. Blue, purple, and red. And if guests come and spend the night, oh well. If they ain't right, or one of my kids or something, they're not right, what's going to happen? God will visit them right in a place that is reminding me of him when he first chose Israel. But either way, 1 Kings chapter 16, I'm just ranting off to myself, thinking about this room. I'm not going to show anyone this room until it's finished. It's just too much. But either way, it says now, 1 Kings chapter 16. And right now we're Israel in and out, up and down, all the way through idols and throwing God behind their back, just doing to God what they will, because at the beginning, Israel's in a downward spiral when it says we would have a king. This is the campaign going on now with the Chronicles and First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles. We would have a king to show what you choosing a man over you to lead you. It's all right to have someone, being a mentor or whatever in the things of God, but you don't have no one to tell you what to do but the commandments, statutes, ordinances. Even you as a woman of God or a man that follows the commandments, statutes, you have no lordship over anyone. Or should I say ownership, because Lord means owner, and you all have gotten this into a big pickle, all mixed up with the wrong things. They got you there. When you say that word Lord, my owner is what you're saying. Go to your mother and say, my Lord. Or go to your father and say, my Lord. Or go to your employer and say, my Lord. You're calling them your owner. You only have one owner, the one that created you, and that is the Most High. Even the I am that I am. Whatever language you would say that in. But the fact is that we are here praising and blessing the Most High because He owns us. He's the owner of our spirits. The Greek says He's the Father. And we know Him as the Creator. Even in some circles, He's the King. but never a man. God don't have to die for your sins when he told you in many ways what to do. Even when Solomon prayed in his rightness, in his right mind, and that in righteousness. Solomon prayed and said if they turn toward Jerusalem. If you're in America, it's sort of like northeast. If you're in South America, it's in an easterly direction, mostly north, slightly north, but it's east. You can turn west if you want to. Be a long ways away. You can turn west. You go around and around, all around. Yeah, you can do that if you want to. You can point east or west, whichever way you can see Jerusalem on the map. He didn't say whether you had to go look east or west. No. But point toward is Jerusalem is what Solomon prayed, and that when they pray, that they will be healed, forgiven, and set free. In so many words, this is what is said. If you want to do in a direction, Muslim, Israelite, Christian, whatever you call yourself is, all we call ourselves as citizens of the kingdom of the Most High. That's it, because that is the kingdom. God, he wanted the kingdom over that he could display to other kingdoms of men. An example, but we made a fool of ourselves. But either way, in the direction of Jerusalem is what Solomon prayed when he dedicated the temple unto the Most High. And God saw the sincerity of his heart, and he saw that he had even given all and everything that he could think of, and praise and adoration, even ox and sheep and everything, even his heart. And the heart of the people were there too, and saying, thank you that you put us into a land that you promised. God fulfilled his promise with Israel. It wasn't about Solomon, it wasn't about David. It was about God fulfilling his promise to Abram. The fathers, he even said that back in the book of Jubilees. He said that back in the book of Jasher. What he fulfilled unto the fathers. Those are our founding fathers. Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. Not whatever these devils were. No. These were our founding fathers in righteousness. The rest, these kings and all of that, that's relevant but irrelevant. I'll put it that way. But nevertheless, in the book of 1 Kings chapter 16, then the word of the I Am came to Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, he was a king, for as much as I exalted thee out of the dust and made thee prince over my people Israel, thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam, causing the people of Israel to sin. This is why I say when you choose a leader, you better make sure this leader is right. This leader would not lead you wrong, man, that your wife is going to this one leader and he's steady eyeing her because she has a bad body, and you see this thing, take her out of there. Because eventually he's going to find a way to weaken her. By the way he favors her. It's like I was seeing a thing about a preacher in Africa. I don't know whether these women were married or single, but he would take them into a back room, and most of you would get what I'm saying, and he was going to give them this healing holy milk. A foolish husband would only let his wife do such a thing, and only a foolish woman would go ahead and do such a thing. I'll leave it at that. For as much as I exalted thee out of the dust and made thee prince over my people, and thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam, and hast made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins. These leaders they're not leaders. You don't need a leader. If anything, someone to remind you of the commandments, statutes, ordinances of the Most High when you are walking waywardly. Yes, you should come together because you agree in each other. There would be one that is, should I say, we call him not a mediator, but MC or whatever you want to call it, of whatever you got going on. But never, or those who are learned in the ways of life, that are elderly, that understand and walked in the way of the most holy, and can instruct those and show them where to look. If you're not backing it up with scripture, you're not helping anyone. Period. Even if you're a baby. Behold, I will take away the prosperity of Baasha, and the prosperity, I'm in verse 3, of his house, and will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Him that dieth of Baasha in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in his field shall the fowls of the air eat. Just like Jezebel, huh? And now the rest of the acts of Baasha, what he did in his might, are they not written in the books of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Baasha slept with his father and was buried in Tirzah, and Elah, his son, reigned in his stead. And also by the hand of the prophet Jehu, the son of Hanani, came the word of the I Am against Baasha and against his house, even for all the evil that he did in the sight of the I Am, and provoking him to anger with the work of his hands, and being like the house of Jeroboam, because he killed him. Yes, he killed him. And in the 20th and 6th years of Asa, many of you in your Christian circles, you have an Asa coming on, and king of Judah, began Elah, the son of Baasha, to reign over Tirzah 2 years. And his servant Zimri, captain of half of his chariots, conspired against him, and he was in Tirzah, drinking himself drunk in the house of Arza, steward of his house. You know, this man was a drunkard in Tirzah. This is a thing that God is against, the drunkenness. Drunkenness can get to the point of whether you drink, smoke, or even use drugs. It's a form of drunkenness. Oh, the Bible didn't say nothing about using no marijuana and all these other drugs. Yes, he did. It's right there. Whatever he was doing, he drunk himself drunk. But he was drunkard. And if you want to go further, wait till we get to the book of Proverbs, and woe to the drunkards of Ephraim. Okay. And Zimri went in and smote him and killed him. And in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. And Zimri went and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, the king of Judah, and reigned in his stead. And it came to pass, when he began to reign, as soon as he sat on his throne, he saw all the house of Baasha, and he left him not one that penseth against a wall, as the word of the Lord hath, or the word of the I Am went forth. God is going to keep his promise. See, when you read these scriptures, you have to realize, number one, did God keep his promise and what he said? Was it the king? Was it the righteousness of David that caused God to keep his promise? No. Was it the righteousness of Solomon, or what he did to build the temple? God had Solomon build the temple because he had to subdue the enemies of Israel in order to have peace all around. So he gave Israel peace that Solomon might build the temple that he promised, that he put forth, that he wanted to build. And Zimri went forth and smote him and killed him. Verse 11, and it came to pass, when he began to reign, as soon as he sat in his throne, he slew all the house of Baasha, and he left him not one that pisses against the wall, not a little baby, not a toddler, not nothing, neither of his kinfolks nor of his friends. You know, God was so angry at this guy. When you have people dying around you and you wonder why they're dying, you got to go back and find out where this thing stopped. Woman, you wonder why you always have relatives that's dying. It might not be you. It might be someone in your past or somewhere where God has purposed that none of you will live. or none of them will live. Depends. Or man. For all the sins of Baasha and the sins of Eli's son, by which they sinned, by which they made Israel to sin, and provoking the I am of Israel to anger with their vanities, and their uselessness, their elusiveness, their illusion of riches and power and glamour. Vanities upon vanities, says the preacher. Illusions. Just because you might wear a name brand and I wear the store-bought, the box store brand, it doesn't matter. If it's clean and I can iron it and I look decent in it, I'm just as good as you. In the way I look. Oh, is that a certain brand name, or is that Safani, or whatever you want to call that stuff? It's kind of odd. You all go after these names, mainly in European countries. But isn't the brand names of African men and Asian men and South American men, even Indians, they're just as good if they got a good product? Your head has been pumped up. This is not being racist. It's just saying, hey, if a man from China comes with a brand name with his name on it and everything, and it's a good product, and it looks good, sounds good, it's good. It's better than your European names that you're getting. You've been brainwashed. Yeah, you've been brainwashed. Yes, the smells might smell good, but this is what you're used to. I mean, any person of any nationality of people can come with good smells, good clothes. I've noticed an African orator. To me, he's the best dressed man in Africa. I mean, from the simplest clothes that he wear to the suits. I mean, that's just something. I was just like, wow. But either way, he comes on YouTube many times. And I think it's the grandfather of the guy that in the YouTube platform called Swahili Nation. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. But either way. Now, it says that we're encamped against, now in the 20th, verse 15. In the 20th and 7th year, King Asa of Judah did Zimri reign 7 years in Tirzah. And the people were encamped against Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines or Palestinians. And the people that were encamped heard say, Zimri hath conspired and have also slain the king. Wherefore all Israel made Omri, the captain of the host, king over Israel that day in the camp. And Omri went up from Gibbethon, and all Israel with him, and they besieged Tirzah. And it came to pass when Zimri saw the city that was taken, and he went into the place of the king's house and burnt the king's house over him with fire and died. In other words, he's going to burn him in there for his sins which he sinned in doing evil in the sight of the I am, and walking in the way of Jeroboam, and in the sin which he did make to make Israel to sin. Now the rest of the acts of Zimri, he burnt down the king's house. And his treason that wrought, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? In other words, if you are an Israelite and you walk contrary to the commandments, statutes, which your ancestors had told the Most High, all that he says that will we do, you've committed treason in the kingdom of the Most High on earth, as well as those spirits that have committed treason against the Most High in his realm, or what we call heaven. Now, Then there were the people of Israel divided into two parts. Half of the people that followed Tibni and the son of Ginath to make him king, and half followed Omri. But the people that followed Omri prevailed against the people that followed Tibni, the son of Ginath. So Tibni died and Omri reigned. So they was a split, is getting ready to be a split. And in 31st year, verse 23, Asa the king of Judah began Omri to reign over Israel. 12 years, 6 years reigned he in Tirzah. And he brought the hill of Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver. But on the hill, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer, owner of the hill, Samaria. This is how Samaria got started. Now you got that. Write it down. Well, how did Samaria come about? Well, it came about just like it says here. Asa, king of Judah, began Omri to reign in the first year of Asa. Omri reigned over the 10 tribes, okay? The 10 tribes, 6 years reigned he in Tirzah, okay? And he bought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, but built on the hill and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer, the owner of the hill. What did he name it? Samaria. He named it Samaria anyway. But Omri wrought evil in the eyes of the I Am, and did worse than all that were before him. For he walked in the way of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, in his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin, to provoke the I Am God of Israel to anger with their vanities. Now the rest of the acts of Omri which he did, are these, and his might that he showed, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Israel? So Omri slept with his father and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. Now here is the kicker. Ahab. This is one of the most significant kings of Israel that we ever seen. And in the 38th year of the king of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. And Ahab, the son of Omri. So who was Ahab, this wicked king's father? He was the son of Omri. Yes, he was the son of Omri. And he reigned over Israel and Samaria 22 years. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the I Am above all that were before him. Now these things that Ahab done, we should always note. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal. In other words, she was even named, her daddy was named after a Baal worshiper, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshiped him. Oh, yes. Here's another idol or deity that the Egyptians, that the Israelites knew of these creatures, even some of them while they were in Egypt, and some of them while they were in Palestine, or AKA Philistina. You ain't getting away with nothing. For both of you, even the portrayers and those of you that call yourself owners of the land, God got your number. He knows what your ancestors have done and what you're doing now. Yes, I'm not rooting for none of you. If God ain't for you, I ain't for you. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke the I Am to God, the God of Israel, to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. Not after him, but for him. And in his days did Hiel the Bethite build Jericho, and he laid the foundation thereof in Abiram his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof in his youngest son Segub, according to the word of the I Am. which he spake by Joshua, son of Nun. Yes, and with that, we come to the most hideous man of them all, and his wife, which was a Baal worshiper. Her father was king of the Sidonians. Even in his name, he had the name of his god. And these are the things that are known in the land. Many of the names that the Israelites had their names were embedded in their god. And the same thing with idol worship. Even the Egyptians, their names were in, their god's name was embedded in their names. Call a buck a buck. Sad. But if we follow that which God says in his first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me, even obeying all the rest of his commandments, ordinances, and statutes and laws, we will have peace.
Walk with me.